of the situation of the country, the economic meltdown, and the whole Ulaba, there was still issue with capital. When people are losing their money, they were still having issue with capital and all of that. And then we had the advent of um, funded programs, and then we had different programs come on board. They started talking to us about funding traders, and all they need to do is to test the traders. Excuse me, test the traders, letting them pass some evaluation challenge, and phase one and phase two. Some just one phase, depending on the challenge you're buying, and then eventually you get fully funded. And the idea of the funding is so that you can have access to each capital. You buy those capital with little amounts of money, and then you buy them with some amount of money, and then you are able to access or trade big capitals. So, and that is what fundedness is all about. They have given us that opportunity to for traders who are struggling to trade, because how much does $100 want to give you? You might not be able to make as much money with $100. I mean, I know some of you here are flippers. You can flip $100 to $1 million, $100 to $10,000. But You not believe me. People don't know. People not believe me. I'm married to 7 kids. Yes. Those are they are not. It's from different wives. All right. So this morning we are going to be having a good time. There is refreshment also. Refreshment. So don't worry. We'll see refreshment very soon. And there will be giveaways also. $100,000 account, $50,000 account, 25K account. So I'm going to be giving a number that you're going to use to connect. I mean, when the login will start. And I hope that everyone wins. It's not possible. But I hope that the traders are really pass the account so I can collect a percentage from them. They are good to me. So, without wasting our time, let's welcome our host, Adeshima, to tell us what next that we're doing. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Woo! It's FundedNext Global Meetup 2023. Can you clap your hands together? All right. All right. Sir, please can you tell me how long have you been trading?
For the past 5 years.
Clap for him. Can we crown him and call him a forex lord?
Yes, yes.
Can we crown him already? All right.
Yes.
If you are proud to be a forex lord, I mean, you are sure that you are seeing shaky, and yet you're still doing well. Can you just wave your hands? All right. One of the reasons why I like Coach Olubori, you would always say I am a successful forex trader. He knows all the shaky you're saying. If you know you are successful, yeah, and you're sure of it, can you put your hands up for FundedNext right now? All right. We have very special ones amongst us, and then we're going to be welcoming them. But before then, I want you to just look by your right and say welcome. Welcome. Can you do that? It's a meetup. It's not serious.
Yes, I'm here.
This is time for us to just like meet and greet, hang out, and then learn from one another. Okay, so those two people over there, that beautiful woman, you didn't say hi to him. Sir, be nice. Yes, sir. Please celebrate them. They are shy. All right. Okay, so we are going to be having an introductory session from Mr. Olubori Paul very shortly. And right after then, we are going to be having a speech from Mr. Rifat himself, and we're going to be joining live. So I want you to get ready, get your notepad, because we're going to be learning a lot. All right, so let's clap hands for him as he comes back here.
Thank you. We are supposed to have one of the leads, founder of FundedNext, speak to us. So we are having a bit of challenge. There's a sound like we need to have that. Okay, but while we wait for that, I'm sure that some of you are. Um, is anyone here who at one time or the other passed a friend account before? Passed friend account close. Daddy, please good morning. Can I interview you for a few minutes? Please come and tell us your experience. Let's continue.
Good morning, Rob. My name is Sam Okoji. I got into Forex. I'm retired from Chevron. I'm a petroleum engineer. So I had to decide after retirement what next. So that was how I got into. Somebody introduced me to Forex, but I didn't take it serious at that time because I was still working. By the time I left the system, and it looked like I was going to be idle, so I had to pick up where I left off. It's been tough. Some of the things I see on YouTube, I don't know how they make it, but if it's the same chart we all look at. So I've tried FTMO before. I've flunked couple of accounts there and stopped trading for like a year. I just shut down. Then I picked it up again. Somehow I ran into FundedNext, something that it just popped up on my laptop as an advert. So I clicked on it, went through the whole page, then registered with them, a 15K account, the very first one. I flunked the account. I passed the first phase, then the second phase, with the excitement of passing the first phase, I thought the second phase would just be a breeze. And the next thing I just saw was an email. You violated our policy, and the account went. So I have to, one of the biggest challenge I see as a trader is your emotions, more than just the technicals. If you can control your emotion, some people say money is a spirit. So if you can control your emotions, you you have won over 50% of the battle. There is always a tendency I want to make money every day, and the market might not give you money every day. Are we together? The market will not give you money every day. You don't run the market. You don't dictate the market. You don't own the market. Your contribution is like a drop in the ocean. So we all look out for every opportunity. People say, oh, have a trading strategy, and you'll make money. Your strategy has to align with what the owners of the market want, isn't it? You don't control the market. I've learned that in a very hard way. So I got back. I took another test. I passed it, both the phase one and the phase two, and I started trading FundedNext account. And one of the things I had with them after I passed, a funded account. I did two trades, and my drawdown was less over $1,000. I was almost losing the account, so I had to tell myself, this now. Even I was so tensed up because that was the first time. So I had to go back to basics, reduce my lot size, my and just started doing what made me to pass
Can you stream it? It's very
Hello guys, am I audible enough? Hello everyone, this is Rifat. So before we start today's session, let me just quickly share the presentation. All right, am I audible enough right now? All right guys, first of all, I'd like to thank everyone who is participating in today's event, because it has been our honor to actually be hosting this event in Nigeria, because we have received so much love, so much support from all the Nigerian trading communities in the last couple of months, that it actually helped us to actually create a solid foundation of this core. So yeah, so I would like to introduce myself first. So I'm Rifat, and I'm a seasoned community manager with over 3 years of experience in forex trading. And a bit about my achievements: I have interviewed 100 plus successful prop traders in the last 1 year, and my team is currently managing 20 plus FundedNext communities with more than 100K members from 190 plus countries. So that's a bit about myself. And now if I talk about the objectives of this meetup, what are the exact things that you guys are gonna get after the end of this meetup? The first thing is networking, because you're gonna have a wide amount of opportunity to connect with a lot of prop traders today, some prop trading insights. As you know, in the brokerage business, there are a lot of people who are actually needing funds, because in case of Nigeria, the main problem, the basic problem in case of Nigeria and in case of most other countries, is actually lack of funds. So this is where a prop firm comes in, and it actually helps you to get funded. So how to pass a prop firm challenge, all the secrets insights you are going to get in today's session. With that, you'll also get a free trading psychology session, and with our expert coach, Mr. Sanjeev, after my presentation, and it's going to help you to actually read the market and actually make good decisions based on strong psychological levels. All right, so these are the main objectives of this meetup. And after that, we've got some box of surprises for you as well. First of all, we've got some discounts, we've got some free account giveaways, as well as some other perks and benefits as well for you. And now, if I talk about FundedNext, so FundedNext is a proprietary trading firm that got established 1 year ago, back in March 18th, 2022. We're currently a team of 200 plus people who are working full-time plus remotely all around the globe. And if I talk about the features, some of the features that FundedNext provides, the first thing would be the 15% profit share, because we have seen a lot of prop traders who are actually lacking, who are actually putting a lot of efforts in the challenge phases, but they're not getting recognized for their efforts. So that's why we actually introduced a 15% profit share. We're also getting up to $4 million scale up plan with FundedNext, and all the profits that you are making on your trading account, you can get up to 90% profit share. We've also got a dedicated account manager to resolve your issues 24/7, and we're also boasting with the industry leading affiliate programs. We can assure you that this is an affiliate program that you cannot find in any other prop firm companies. And if I talk about our team a little bit, so we've got 50 plus dedicated support agents only for your assistance, and who are available 24/7. So any of your queries, any of the confusions that you guys have, any of these things, those things can be sorted. You've got 20 plus community managers, so that all the people in our communities are getting enough value. Also, we've got 10 plus members in the global banking team to ensure that you are getting the payouts as fast as possible. Along with that, we have also got 30 plus engineers, computer science engineers working in FundedNext to resolve any sort of technical issue, whether it's dashboard, whether it's MP4, any sort of issues that you guys are facing. Along with that, we have also recently introduced a trading psychologist, because trading, at the end of the day, trading is a mental game, and you actually have to make sure that you are not only technically analyzing the markets, you're also playing the psychological game, the A game as well. So that's why we've recently onboarded our trading psychologist. There are many kinds of problems that we have faced during a trading career, right? Let's say, for example, you simply entered a trade and it was about to hit the take profit area, and all of a sudden it simply hit the loss limit. And some other things, like you were about to hit your profit target, and all of a sudden you simply didn't. Other psychological factors, like you cannot stop trading. You are always looking at the charts, looking for the next position. You are constantly killing yourself for all those drawdowns, all those losses in forex trading. So this is how a trading psychologist is going to help you, and this is how we want to help you for free. And yeah, all the trading psychology related sessions, all the recordings that we're gonna do from now on, it's gonna be available on the community section. So all you have to do is simply go to www.fundednext.com/dashboard and then log in there, and then you can find the community section in there. So that's all about my team. I hope that everyone is doing fine, safe, and secure. And it's once again, it has always been my pleasure to represent FundedNext in the Nigerian community, because you guys are the best. All right, so I will now move on to my friend Olubori, and he can actually proceed with the next guest that is on the current schedule. Yeah, that's all for today, guys. It was really nice talking to you, everyone. And yeah, we're hoping to see a blast in Nigeria. Thank you, everyone.
If there's no labalu, if there's no bulaba, but I mean that is not an excuse for all of that. Okay, so we are going to have a trading session now, but before then, I just want to talk more about funded um, proper count. You might need to come back soon. When they reached out to me regarding this, I had already known them. I bought like four of their accounts before we did this, and I've never encountered any issue with them, any. And even if there's an issue, they have a. They're not paying me to do this. I promise you, they didn't pay me. But if something is good, the best thing you do. I'm a great affiliate marketer. If something is good, you talk about it. You don't hide it and say no, no. They are good. They are the first account that I see pays 15% back from. And now see other brokers doing the same, but they are the first pop firm that did it. And then other people are now repeating it, and they made it easier. You can see the way they are relating with everyone. They made it easier for everyone to for the whole thing to be relatable for everyone to. So let's welcome Mr. We are going to have Mr. The psychologist to talk about trading psychology.
Hi, just testing the sound. Hi, testing, 1, 2, 3, testing, testing. Hi team, can everyone hear me? Perfect. Thank you guys for participating. Thank you for having me. Give me 1 second. I'm just going to get my presentation up and we'll kick off with the psychology session for today. Apologies for the delay. Can I just get a confirmation that audio is still good and you can see the presentation on the screen? Okay, welcome to your trading psychology session. I want to start off just by thanking the team at FundedNext for having me on today and for everyone participating in today's event. I'm hoping it's going to be something insightful, something a little bit different to what most traders are hearing. And it's going to give you a little bit of insight as to what it takes to improve your trading psychology. So before we dive in to the meat of the presentation, I want to spend just a minute or so just to let you know what to expect from today's session and what you can expect from me going forward. So firstly, I believe the psychology of trading is almost the most important thing that you could do as a trader. Spending time improving that area is going to lead to the biggest changes in terms of your progress and performance as a trader. Now, in today's session, I want to demonstrate exactly why I believe that to be the case. And I want to help to unpack that by really showing the true nature of the problem and why psychology has such a big impact on every single trader's performance in the markets. I'm hoping by the end of the session that everyone attending and listening and seeing the presentation is going to learn something new. I'm hoping you're going to go away with a new daily practice, which is going to be something that you can implement right off the back of this session. And over time, it is going to help you to improve your trading psychology. And if time permits, towards the end of the session, we're going to open things up for a Q&A. So if you have any questions based on the presentation or based on anything to do with trading psychology, you'll have the opportunity to ask me. I'm fully at your disposal throughout the lifetime of this session. So I think it's only right to start with who I am, giving you a little bit of background as to who I am and what it is I do and how I ended up where I started. Now, the purpose of this is not to bore you with the details of where I came to and how I came to be where I am today, but simply to show you that actually we're probably more alike than most of you think. I had many issues in my trading journey. I still have many hurdles that I overcome on a day-to-day basis. And what I hope to demonstrate throughout the life cycle of this presentation is to tell you that actually, in my belief, I don't believe trading actually has an end journey. An end destination. I believe trading is more about the journey. I don't think there is a point where you ever really make it as a trader and it just becomes easy to extract money out of the markets. I believe as a trader, you need to have a certain type of mindset, you need to have a certain system, and you need to be able to demonstrate and work on those things every single day to continually improve to be able to extract money out of the markets. So for those of you who don't already know, my name is Sanjeev. Feel free to call me Sanj. And I actually started trading in 2011. It was when I first discovered trading. And at that point, I was still a student at university. I was actually on a placement year where I was working in Poland for 1 year. And that was my first real experience at what working sort of the 9 to 5 or the corporate job would be like. And I think it took me less than 3 months to realize that this was not the place that I wanted to be. It wasn't something that I felt like I could do for the rest of my life. And I needed to find something else. And so I went home and I started Googling, and lo and behold, I discovered trading. And yeah, this was way back in 2011. And I opened my first very small live account at that stage in 2012. It actually took me this journey, which I started in 2011, for the first, I would say, 6 years. I did nothing except lose money every single year. So from 2012 to roughly 2018, I never made a single penny out of the markets. I would continually lose over and over again. And I spent my time frustrated. And this was throughout the end of university and going into my working life. I'm sure there are many of you that can relate to a story like this, where you've had challenges and setbacks and maybe haven't had the progress that you want yet. And I'm hoping off the back of this session, you're going to have something new to take away that's going to give you something to focus on, which is really going to propel you further ahead than you ever may think. Because I know for me, when I really started to focus on my mindset and my psychology, that was the start of a turning point for me, which is where I started to get many of my breakthroughs with trading. So from 2012 to 2018, I lost money. In 2018 is where I mentioned I started to have my breakthroughs. And I actually quit my job in 2018 because I was doing something that I absolutely hated. I was good at it, but just didn't really enjoy it, had no real fulfillment. It gave me no real joy in doing what I did on a day-to-day basis. So I decided I wanted to start a business, and I wanted to focus more of my time and energy on becoming the trader that I know I could be. So in 2018, I took a plunge. I quit. I decided to live off my savings for a little while, and I actually started to go into coaching. And at that stage, it was more life coaching rather than actually working with traders of any kind. In 2020 is when I had my first opportunity where I was working with a community of people. And initially I was brought on as a life coach, but that slowly transformed into working with specifically with traders. So the community I was specifically working in, there were a lot of people that were devoting their time to working on trading. And what I actually found was many of the lessons that I was applying in my own life to help me become better at dealing with my own emotions and regulating my own psychology actually had a real knock-on benefit to trading. And it wasn't until I had that experience where I started to connect the dots and realize that actually the things that I was applying in my life coaching aspect of my life actually helped me to become a better trader as well. And it was only at that stage in 2020 where I actually put the two of my passions together, which was coaching and trading. And I actually started working almost exclusively with traders, purely helping them on the mindset and the emotion management side of trading. And the big focus on that is primarily because handling your emotions and learning to manage your mindset better allows you to do one primary thing which helps you as a trader, and that's to manage risk. Now, thankfully, in my position from 2020 till date, I've been very fortunate to meet and speak with many, many traders. And the one thing that I find is that there are many aspects to what it takes to actually become a profitable trader. I'm going to stop my screen sharing for a second as I want to give you a little bit of a demonstration. Now, what I mean by there are many aspects to becoming a successful and profitable trader, I want to show you in a little bit of a magic trick. So I have a normal deck of cards here. And as you can see, every card is different. I'm going to give the deck a quick shuffle. And I'm going to take the card on top of the pack. In this case, we have the 10 of spades. In this example, we're going to say the 10 represents a consistently profitable trader. We're going to say the 10 is what all of you here, everyone tuning into this stream, is aspiring to achieve. But you see, what most people miss when they're looking to become a consistently profitable trader is they only focus on the surface. And actually, the surface doesn't get you that far. You have to unpack consistently profitable trading. And actually, when you look beneath the surface, it actually breaks down to only really 20% your strategy. And I would say 80% or more is to do with your psychology. And that's the purpose of today's session. We're going to spend the majority of the time not looking over charts, but talking over how your mind operates and how all of these concepts and exercises that you can pick up right off the back of this session will help you as a trader. Let me share my screen once more. Okay, perfect. So as I mentioned, our focus area is predominantly going to be everything to do with psychology. And what you're going to learn throughout this presentation is that psychology is actually going to have a huge impact into many different areas of your trading. And there are many different things that you could focus on to help improve your trading psychology. Now, the one thing I will say is whilst I spend the vast majority of my time focusing on helping traders with their psychology, I don't believe psychology is the be all and end all to becoming a successful trader. I believe it takes up a good portion of what you need, but it's not everything. I also believe a successful trader needs to have an edge in the market. And an edge is simply something that you can rely on that is going to stack probabilities in your favor to make one outcome more likely than the other. Now, when you have an edge in the market and you combine that with the right trading psychology is where you really will start to propel your progress as a trader. The one thing that I have found in my experience is that the right way to trade for me and the right way to trade for each and every one of you is going to be completely different. I have seen traders trading all different types of time frames. They analyze the markets in different ways. I've seen completely fundamental traders. I've seen completely technical traders. And whilst their strategies differ in many different ways, the one thing that I find is consistent with all of them is they all tend to have the same mindset and the same principles around handling emotions, how you deal with losses, how you hold winners, and how you bounce back after taking a hit in the market, which happens to absolutely everyone. So this is what I truly believe makes a profitable trader. It's not about the strategy that you have. It's not about the time frame. It's not about how you analyze the charts. It's about what goes on in your mind. It's about how you think about trading rather than how you actually trade. You could have a 70 to 80% win rate, or you could have a 20 to 30% win rate. And actually, the most defining thing that will measure whether you're going to be a profitable trader is the quality of your mindset. And neither of those things have anything to do with your strategy. It's about finding the right thing that works for you. So Ollie, from the back of today's session, what I'm going to teach you to do is to beat the odds. I want you to be able to walk away to say you've learned something and to give you some practical tips that you can start using right off the back of today's session. Now, I mentioned right at the very beginning, one of the things that I want to focus on most is actually uncovering the true nature of the problem. Because what I find is, while social media has been an amazing place to teach people how to run and trade and analyze the markets, the one thing it doesn't really do is, for me, it doesn't really show a true reflection of how hard trading can actually be. So when I talk about beating the odds, I actually want to put some real data behind this so that you know the true nature of what you are up against in becoming a trader. So let's talk about some statistics. So I managed to gather these statistics based on a prop firm. This one specifically was My Forex Funds, who made this data readily available, but it made for some interesting analysis. So let's start with, what are the odds of passing a challenge and actually getting funded? For anyone that has access to the comment section, feel free to leave what you believe the percentage is of actually getting funded. For anyone that's watching this live in the room, if you believe there is a 25% chance of passing the first phase, raise your hand. Interesting. So it appears a lot of people actually know some of the statistics, right? They know how hard it is to actually get through some of these stages. So some of the things that they released was that actually only 10% of people pass phase one, right? When you take that from phase one to phase two, only 23% of that initial 10% go on to pass phase two. So of everyone that tries, 10% manage to pass phase one. Of that 10%, only 23% pass phase two. And the most interesting statistic for me, which really stood out of their findings, were only 3% of that final amount make it to their first profit split. Only 3% actually see a return on their investment when it comes to doing challenges with most prop firms. Now, for anyone that is keeping count, I actually broke it down and did the math. And that actually equates to 10%, 23%, and then 3%. It actually equates to a 0.07% chance of actually getting paid out once you start a challenge with a prop firm. 0.07% chance. That's quite a low statistic. If you were to look at trading in line with any other profession, having a chance of making money at 0.07% would be rubbish. There are not many people that would take up that degree or that field if they knew that their chances of making money were actually that slim. Now, they went on to actually provide some more data as part of their research. What are some of the other key takeaways, which I think is going to be important for the purposes of this presentation? 60% of the traders on their books did not use the stop loss. 60%. It's a huge amount. They noted that volatility in the market tends to increase the chances that people will fail to use correct risk management and have discipline with their trading. Volatility in the market tends to skew people's perception towards risk management and discipline. And finally, and this was the most interesting statistic that stood out for me, every single trader on their book over this given period of time that received a record payout amount lost their account within 3 weeks due to excessive risk. Now, what does that tell you? Does it tell you that the trader strategy stopped working? What that shows me is there is a pattern between making and keeping money in the markets and your ability to actually trade effectively, right? So with statistics like that, that is the true nature of the problem. Now, I don't say this or share this information with you to scare you to not become a trader, but it's important to understand that if trading was as simple as drawing some lines on a chart, drawing up boxes, maybe adding pivot points or a few indicators, do you not think the statistics of actually getting paid out from the markets would be higher than it is? That for me would make the most sense, but it isn't. And so there is more to it. There is more to this game than just your analysis. Actually, the rest of the game, and again, going back to what I said at the beginning, I would say 80% or more of this game is actually about the quality of your mindset, the quality of your psychology, and how you actually think about being a trader. So let's take this one step further. We're going to focus on some more statistics, but I want to include a wider sample size here. So we're not going to look at one particular prop firm. We're going to look at brokers overall. Again, we'll do hands. Feel free to join in the comments. What is the percentage of people that are actually profitable traders with a normal regulated broker? We've all heard the sticks, 80 to 90% lose money. The benefit of this is brokers that operate within Europe a few years ago were regulated by a company called ESMA. And their regulations now require any broker operating within Europe to actually be specific and show what is the percentage of traders that actually make or lose money. Now, I'm originally based in the UK, so I want to share some statistics from some of the most popular brokers in the UK and what their percentage of profitable traders are. So IG Markets, you can see there is a 77% chance that investors lose money when trading with them. CMC Markets, there is a 75% of their clients lose money when using their brokerage. And finally, City Index, another very popular one. 73% of retail investors lose money. So it really does go on to support the idea that maybe 70 to 80% of people actually trading in the bigger picture actually fail to make money each and every month or quarter or year, however they're measuring this data. And again, I did some more research and I dug out some more statistics. So there is another big broker called FXCM, which some of you may have heard of. They did some research based on traders a few years ago. They analyzed a big sample size of data. They actually looked at 25,000 traders. Now, it's a very good sample size of traders to actually be looking at. Over that time, they measured 43 million trades and they started to analyze their results. 25,000 traders, 43 million trades over a 15-month time span. Now, any of you that are into trading, have some experience with it, will know maybe from things like backtesting that is a good sample size of data. That is a very wide pool of traders. That is a huge sample size of trades executed. And it is a good time frame to be able to analyze and gather some real statistics about the market. So what did FXCM find after analyzing data? Let's take a guess. Does anyone want to hazard a guess at the win rate of those traders? If anyone in the room thinks the win rate was higher than 50%, please raise your hand, and in the comments feel free to chime in. So the actual win rate, 62%. So of those 25,000 traders, 62% of them actually had, of those 25,000 traders, they had a 62% win rate. That actually means they were right more than they were wrong. But what's the problem? Why did they actually go on to lose money? And when you look through the statistics further, anyone want to hazard a guess at how big the average winning trade was for these traders in pips? The average winning trade was 48 pips. Now, that in itself is actually not a bad thing. Depending on the time frame that you trade on, 48 pips for a trade is not bad at all. The problem, though, is when you compare this to the average loser. Again, anyone want to hazard a guess at what the average losing size was? 48 pips, average winner, 62% win rate. The problem is right here. The average loser was 82 pips. And this is what it holds traders back. Now, when I look at that data, the thing that stands out most to me is, what can we conclude from that? Well, generally, traders tend to hold on to their losers out of hope. They're holding on to a position which doesn't look good. And the reason that they don't cut it sooner and the reason their losses end up sizably bigger is because they're hopeful when they're holding a losing trade. Now, if you compare this to what happens on the other end, they are right more than they're wrong, but their winners are much smaller. Why is that? Well, what tends to happen to the majority of people when they're in a winning position? They feel fear. Now, actually, this is the opposite of how most people should be thinking. Actually, what successful traders should do and do is, when you're holding a losing position, you're fearful. You don't want that to go further, so you cut the position. And when you're holding a winning trade, you want to hold this with hope that it's going to continue to go further, because of course, the markets are uncertain. Absolutely anything can happen at any time. But the majority of people, normal thinking tends to follow this pattern. Losers are held with hope, winners are held with fear. Take a moment to think back to your last losing trade and your last winning trade, and play back in your mind exactly how you felt, because I can guarantee there are people in this room or tuning into this stream that have felt exactly this. And I'm no exception. I've been there. And I'm going to talk about exactly how we can start to do something differently so that we don't hold our losers with hope and we don't hold our losers with fear and get out of them too early. The biggest conclusion that I took away from this is, if traders are generally winning more than they lose, are they trading to be right, or are they trading to make money? Because yes, having a win rate greater than 50% is fantastic. But if your average loser is greater than your average winner, there is a problem here. Because then if you're trading just to be right, you're trading for what? Ego. That's what it comes down to for a lot of traders. They want to be right more than they want to make money. So, trading psychology. One of the questions I get asked a lot is, why focus on mindset? And honestly, the reason that it happened for me was purely, I got tired of losing. And the reason I spent so much time, and as I shared with you all, 6 years without a single real breakthrough, is because I spent all of my time on analysis. I spent all of my time focusing on how to analyze the charts, trying to figure out what I missed and why every trade that would typically just start to go against me. And what did I suffer from? Analysis paralysis. How many people have been there? How many people have stared so hard at the chart trying to figure out what is going to happen next? And actually all you end up doing is confusing yourself more and more. I actually started trading, as I mentioned, in 2011. There is a popular influencer now called ICT. I'm sure some of you, or maybe a lot of you, may have heard of. I actually followed his journey from a website called Baby Pips, which was like the main resource to go to at the time. And I started with ICT at that point. I dabbled with pivot points, VSA, Bollinger Bands, MACDs, RSI, stochastic, moving averages, you name it. I pretty much covered it at some point. And the only thing that it consistently led me to was analysis paralysis. The thing that I settled on, and the reason that I realized I was constantly going around in circles, is because it's not actually to do with your analysis. It's not how you trade the markets. It's the quality of your mindset and not the specific strategy that you're trading. Now, from a psychological perspective, there is a simple reason as to why traders turn to analysis whenever something goes wrong, or they start to change their strategy whenever they have their next losing trade. And it's because traders psychologically are craving one thing. They're craving certainty. Think about that for a moment. Every time you analyze the market, what are you looking for? You're looking for some kind of confirmation that euro dollar is going to go up, or you're looking for some kind of confirmation that dollar yen is going to go down. You're craving certainty in the market. And the fundamental problem with that, and the reason why you start to struggle psychologically, is because the more that you go out looking for certainty, the more you are failing to accept that the markets are actually uncertain. You will make more progress from just accepting that the markets are uncertain rather than trying to find certainty in every outcome of your trade. Okay, there's something really important to focus on, because I spent many, many years constantly jumping from strategy to strategy, never really getting anywhere. And the problem wasn't that I was jumping from strategy to strategy. The problem was that I didn't accept that the markets were uncertain. So what actual impact does psychology have in your trading? Well, we've covered a few of them already. It's going to affect you cutting your losers. It's going to affect how you hold on to your winners. It's going to impact whether you can execute in the markets without hesitating, without freezing when you need to the most. It's going to help you bounce back after a loss or a string of losses. It's going to help with your patience, your discipline, and one of the most important things, your consistency in the markets. And all of those things fall outside of your scope of your actual strategy. But the list of things that I just read here are going to have a bigger impact on your overall performance and your ability to extract money from the markets in the long run. So before we dive into the education side and actually learning a few things about this, I want you to take this message away, is that if you're trying to get funded with a prop firm, or if you're already funded and actually want to take your trading up to the next level, but you're struggling, you have a glass ceiling above you, the thing that you want to focus on most is your mindset. That is really where you're going to propel yourself to go from one level to the next. So I want to dive into the psychology part of this, and actually where I start to teach a little bit about how the mind works and how that can impact you as a trader. I want to start by discussing our beliefs. And the reason I want to start here is because I spent the first part of this presentation discussing what normal looks like. What is the average statistic of passing a challenge? What do most people end up doing if they trade their own money with a brokerage? And the only thing that we can be certain of at the moment is that normal thinking doesn't work in trading. So how do we actually start to think, or stop thinking like the vast majority of people? Well, the first thing to understand is this, is that everything in life, every action, every thought, everything that we feel on a day-to-day basis is rooted back to our beliefs. Now, the fundamental reason behind that is because beliefs are the core of everything that we do and who we are as a person. So to help you unpack this idea further, beliefs are the core of everything. Everything in life starts with a belief. Every belief that you have is linked to what you think each day. Now, what you choose to think will impact your emotions on a day-to-day basis. How you feel every single day will change what you actually do. The actions that you repeat will become habits. And the habits that you have, they are who you are as a person, right? If I was to ask anybody on this call, how would you, excuse me, if I was to ask anyone on this call, describe yourself in 3 words, what would they be? Think about that for a second. Think of 3 words to describe yourself. Now, when I ask this question to a lot of my clients, general answers that I get back: caring, generous, friendly, outgoing. Descriptive words, right? Let me ask you this. How can you be caring if you didn't have a habit of caring for those around you? How can you be generous without having a habit of being generous to those that you know? Well, maybe those that you don't know. So actually, your habits are the core of who you are as a person. And your habits are formed from your actions. Your actions are based on your emotions. Emotions are based on thoughts, and thoughts all root back to your beliefs. So the reason I bring this up is what you have to understand is that successful trading, the traders behind that, they're not born differently than each one of us, than me, than you, than anybody else on this call. They simply have better habits. And that's physical habits in terms of executing in the markets, and mental habits in terms of how they think on a day-to-day basis. Now, how are beliefs actually formed, and why is this going to be important to us? Well, I put a picture up on the screen. I'm hoping everyone can see that. And it's an elephant with a small rope around its leg and stuck to the ground. Now, anybody that has seen this image before may have seen this and been familiar with this from circus acts. They will see elephants bound to the ground by simply a rope. And the one question that everyone should be asking is, why doesn't the elephant simply break free? They're big enough, they're large enough to be able to break free. Why can't they just rip the rope out of the ground and do something different? And the answer is based on their beliefs. You see, how this is actually done is when the elephants are younger and smaller, the elephants are actually bound to the ground when they don't have their adult size. Without their size and their muscles, the elephants can struggle to break free, but they can't. And over time, what tends to happen is the elephant accepts that he is not strong enough or big enough to be able to break himself free out of the ground. And that belief sticks with them as a child and grows with them until they're adults. Now, when they're adults, their circumstances have changed. They are now bigger and stronger, but actually they don't even try and break free because they believe it's not possible. So in essence, the elephant is not bound by the rope. The elephant is bound by their beliefs. And humans work exactly the same way. The majority of our beliefs are all formed from childhood, from our experiences and those people around us. And they have gone on to impact all of the decisions that we take day in and day out as we are adults now, based on everything that has happened in the past. Limiting beliefs are I would say 90% of the reason that you struggle to do the right thing when it comes to trading. Now, it's exactly that. It's a level of self-awareness, right? The first thing that you want to be able to do to start to break free of limiting beliefs is you have to be able to identify them. Now, the reason I give you this analogy is because I want you to understand that beliefs are a learned behavior. I truly believe that everybody comes into this world completely neutral. And that is the biggest bonus that you could take away from this course, because if you truly believe that, then that means every single one of your bad habits that is holding you back from being a successful trader is a learned habit. The reason that's important is because anything you have learned can simply be unlearned, but it requires a mental shift. And the first step is just this: unpacking the belief that is holding you back. Now, one of the quickest ways to try and get you towards identifying that limiting belief is simply to say the sentence out loud or to write it down and do later after this session. I am stuck with this. It might be I am stuck with trading. I am stuck with cutting my losses. I am stuck with holding my winners. I am stuck with no discipline because, and force yourself to answer that sentence. I am stuck with because, and what you answer after the word because will give you an insight as to what your limiting belief is. Okay, this is something that we're going to go through in great more details as we go through many sessions in the future. But that single sentence alone will start to point you towards what your limiting beliefs are and how you can start to identify them. Secondly, now that we know we all have limiting beliefs, it actually causes you to make a mistake. And the answer to that question is fear. Okay, so anybody that has actually been through any sort of trading psychology documentation already will probably be familiar with this. And the reason I'm bringing this up again is for anyone that hasn't or doesn't have access to this information, it's really important to know, because how you actually go on to resolve these issues relies on you understanding this concept fully. So there are actually 4 things that cause you to make mistakes in your trading. And they are the 4 fears behind most of your problems. They start off with a fear of losing money, the fear of being wrong, the fear of missing out, and the fear of letting a winning trade turn into a losing trade, right? So your beliefs are the root of everything that you do, but they come out in your trading through fear. And the first step in understanding a lot of this is actually figuring out which of these fears you suffer with, because every single one of us is different. Every single one of us needs to do this exercise to figure out which of these fears we struggle with most. Because for me, it might have been a fear of being wrong. For somebody else in the room or tuned into this stream, it might actually be a fear of losing money or a fear of missing out, the infamous FOMO, which most people struggle with, right? So these are things that will control and impact your decision making. And the question that you need to ask yourself when you're in a position, when you're in a trade and you have to make a decision, one of the most important questions you can ask yourself is, what am I most scared of? What do I fear the most? Because the answer to that question is probably going to relate to one of the 4 things that you see on the screen. Now, why is that important to understand? Well, simply because to overcome a fear, you need to know which of the fears that you're actually suffering from. So for example, if you have a fear of losing money and somebody else has a fear of being wrong, how that actually comes out in your trading may actually result in the same thing. So it may result in you closing the trade early. If you have a fear of being wrong, or if you have a fear of losing money, you may actually close a trade before your plan dictates. However, how you resolve those issues will be completely different based on which fear you are experiencing. So if you have a fear of losing money, maybe the solution or something you could work on is to trade a smaller amount of capital until you get used to it. But on the other hand, if you have a fear of being wrong, maybe you're someone that needs to spend more time back testing your strategy and to become more comfortable with how it performs over a given period of time. So the end result may be the same, but until you actually understand which fear you are suffering from as a trader, you will never actually know how to resolve it. So understanding and really embracing this exercise is going to be a great thing to be able to take your trading psychology to the next level. So how do we actually start to improve? Okay, I've given you some basic ideas of concepts and education into the psychology of a successful trader, and on the opposing end, what losing traders do. But how do we actually do something with that information? What can you take away today that is actually going to change the way that you start to think about the charts? Now, I have many different areas that I cover when it comes to trading psychology and how to think differently to most people. But one of the most fundamental things that I find that traders that make money consistently do is they understand a core, I would say, misconception in the markets, which most people get wrong. You see, most people are told online, and I'm sure some of you can relate to this, that emotions are the problem in your trading. Your frustration, your anger, your FOMO, these are the problems behind all of your trading. And I want to tell you here today that actually emotions are not the problem. They don't have an impact on your trading, right? I'm going to say that one more time. Emotions are not the problem in your trading. You see, what actually is the problem is the action that you take in response to the emotion. Now, the reason this is important to separate is because it is very, very difficult. And actually, the thing that you want to do least is control your emotions. You don't want to become an emotionless human being because emotions are a beautiful thing. So actually, the first step to overcoming this is understanding that emotions are not the enemy. It's your reaction to your emotions, which is the problem. So it's what happens just because you feel angry. It doesn't mean you have to act angry in the markets. It's only when you take that action that anger becomes a problem. It's only when you take action on frustration that it becomes a problem. So actually, the key to making lasting change is actually focusing on breaking your patterns of how you react to your emotions. You will never hear me say that your emotion is the problem. It's your reaction to the emotion. And if I could give you one thing to take away today based on your reactions to your emotions and how you start to improve those, is the best thing you could do is keep a trading journal that documents not your trades, but your emotions. Because what you will tend to find from keeping a journal based on your emotions is you will find there are patterns in your emotions. You will find that every time you open a trade, maybe you start feeling the fear of being wrong. Now, that fear is not a problem. It's what you do when you understand that fear, that can cause the problem. If you don't decide to do the right thing and stick to your plan, that will cause a detriment to your account. So number one, understand that emotions are not the underlying problem, the fundamental problem. It's your reaction to the emotions. And number two, how you start to resolve this is you keep a trading journal and you start to identify at what point during the life cycle of my trades do I start to have a pattern of letting my emotions get in the way. The third and final thing that you can do to start making lasting change in your trading is to change your expectations and your perception. And these by far are the quickest way to manage your emotions, both in the moment and before the trade actually happens. So what do I mean by that? Your expectation is asking, what do you think is going to happen when you put a trade on? What do you believe is going to happen next? Because I can guarantee you 80 to 90% of the emotions that you feel when you put a trade on that makes you cause a mistake in terms of executing on your plan is because your expectations when you put that trade on were incorrect. Because if you put a trade on and you expect that you're going to win, that it's going to be a winning trade, that's the wrong expectation of the market. Because now you're hoping that the trade will work out. And when it doesn't happen, it opens you up for disappointment. On the flip side, how can you change your perception? How can that help you manage your emotions? Well, let me ask you this. How does most people feel when you have a losing trade? It's not nice. I still have plenty of losing trades today. It's never a nice feeling having to deal with a loser. The question that you should ask yourself when you want to change your perception of how you deal with that loser is I want you to ask yourself, how could this loss be the best thing that ever happened to me? Because what that forces your mind to focus on psychologically is, what did I learn from this trade that I will not do next time, or make sure that I do next time? How could this loss be the best thing that ever happened to me? Very powerful question to change your perception of a losing trade. And just one example of how this can be done. So moving forward, what can you expect from my time working with FundedNext? Well, going forward, we're actually going to be putting on regular educational sessions where I teach you every single week about something to do with psychology and how it will impact, or how it could impact, your performance as a trader. If you're having issues with some of the things that we've discussed, if you're having issues in your personal trading, we will have sections and time to do Q&As. So if you want to know how to resolve FOMO, if you want to know how to be more disciplined or patient, or how to bounce back after a series of losses, or how to think in a probabilistic manner, we have time to do Q&As where you can actually speak to me directly. And finally, we're going to be putting on weekly exercises. Now, these weekly exercises are going to give you a task to do every single week, which is aimed to improve your trading, right? It's an exercise that's it's going to impact your life, your overall well-being. It's going to have a specific lesson that you take from it, and it is going to help you apply the educational lesson that we went through that week to trading in your life. Now, the reason I put this out is I believe application of knowledge is one of the most important things you can do. There is no point learning something in a session, but then not being able to apply it in live market conditions. So that is the furthest thing that I want you to leave from our time spent together. Now, everything that we're going to be working on, if you believe you have a problem with your emotions, maybe it's to do with self-awareness. Maybe it's to do with your trading plan, your risk management, your patience, your discipline, motivation, or just general support. There is going to be time for that in every single one of our sessions moving forward. Now, what are we going to be doing differently from most people, most communities, most prop firms? Well, here at FundedNext, we have a framework for change when it comes to managing your trading psychology. You see, what most people do and what most courses will do is they will try and impart knowledge. And some places do an amazing job of that, right? And the purpose of learning something new is so that you have the right level of knowledge to not make the same mistake twice. Now, based on what I just mentioned, knowledge is a very powerful thing to have, but actually having knowledge without the right level of application is the worst thing you could possibly have. So here, my partnership with FundedNext is about changing that dynamic. I want to provide you the knowledge to be able to overcome your hurdles when it comes to your trading psychology by giving you the educational lesson every single week to teach you about overcoming many of the things that are holding you back in terms of your emotions, your risk management, your general thoughts on a day-to-day basis. But we want to take it one step further than just giving you the knowledge. We want to provide accountability. And this is where the FundedNext community is going to be so powerful. This is why if you're not part of the FundedNext community, you need to be signing up. You need to be following us on Twitter so that you have a group of people that are all learning the right concepts and have the right level of knowledge to be able to do the most important thing: apply that knowledge in live market conditions. We don't want to just give you a bit of information and leave you to walk away with that and hope everything goes well. We want to create a community which is all learning the right level of knowledge when it comes to trading psychology and can apply it as a group together. Because the one thing that is going to help you apply something in the correct market conditions is accountability. Having a group of people that understand exactly what you're going through, have been in that position before, and need to be able to do the right thing to break those patterns, it all comes down to accountability. You can think about this in any aspect of life. Let's talk about going to the gym, for example. There are not many things that hold people back from actually getting in better physical shape. Everyone knows if they want to improve their physical health, they need to go to the gym and have a better diet. Okay? That's common knowledge to most people. But how many people actually do that? Not many. There are not many people that actually follow through with the knowledge that they have. And what they're missing is accountability. They need a partner, they need a team, they need a community. And that's exactly what we're creating here at FundedNext, a community of traders empowered with the right mindset to apply with your own strategy to take your trading to the next level. Now, the last thing I want to leave you with before I wrap this up and we move to a quick Q&A is I want to discuss the foundational exercise that I suggest to most of my clients to help them with their trading psychology. And as you can see from the screenshot, it's meditation. Meditation for me, and it got mentioned in the comments a little bit earlier about the importance of self-awareness. Meditation for me is the single best way to help improve your general awareness on a day-to-day basis. Now, for those of you that want resources, we can definitely point you in the right direction. Myself and the team at FundedNext are going to be on hand to give you meditations. These are things that I can put on every week during our sessions, but there are many resources out there about how you can start to look at improving your mindfulness, your ability to be present during the trading day. Now, this is an exercise that we can work through together in one of our future sessions, but I want to explain the fundamental importance of why meditation is so impactful. And I want to explain what most people do wrong when they actually try and meditate. You see, where most people go wrong is they believe meditation is about clearing your mind. They believe meditation is about achieving peace. And actually, what I want to suggest to you is that that shouldn't be the objective of your meditation. The primary purpose of your meditation is simply to be aware. If you're feeling angry, the job of your meditation practice is to recognize that you are angry and to let that thought go and then focus again on your breathing, for example. What will happen when you do that on a day-to-day basis is you'll sit down, you'll start focusing on your breathing, and you'll understand or you'll recognize that you may be angry to do with something, or you may be stressed, or you may be sad or happy, or any one of 100 emotions. What you want to do is recognize the emotion, accept I am having that thought, I'm having that feeling, and then simply let that thought go. and go back to focusing on your breathing. Now, after 5, 10, maybe 30 seconds, that thought, that emotion, that feeling, it will come back. And what you do at that point is you do the same thing again. You recognize that you are feeling it. You let that thought go. You let that feeling go. You watch it drift off out of your mind, and you come back to the present moment and you focus on your breath. Now, that might sound far-fetched. It might sound like you don't understand how that will help you as a trader. Let me explain. If you sit down every day and you observe your mind, what you are doing is you are training yourself to be aware. You are training your level of self-awareness to be higher than what it used to be. Now, when you have more self-awareness, what that is actually going to do is create space. Because every day you sit down and you have a habit, you create a habit of letting a thought go, what that's going to help you to understand is that just because we think or feel something, it doesn't mean we have to act on that thought. There is now space between who you are and anger. There is space between who you are and frustration. The moment there is space between those two things, it allows you to separate and actually break your patterns and do something different. So meditation helps you to become aware. Increased awareness helps create space between you and your thoughts and feelings. Once you've created space, it gives you time. And the benefit of having time before acting on impulse towards your emotions is you get to make a choice. You see, what happens to most people is they feel FOMO and then they act on that emotion. What I want you to do by training in meditation every single day is understand that just because you feel FOMO, it doesn't mean you have to take an action in alignment with that. Just because you feel FOMO, it doesn't mean you have to act in alignment with that. You can act however you like. You can walk away and do the right thing as per your plan, but it all starts with a single thing: training in raising your level of awareness. So if there is one practice that you could take up every single day off the back of this session, if you are not already doing it, is pick up a habit of meditation. Practice becoming present in the everyday moment. And when you can become aware of your emotions as they start to creep up during your trading day, it's going to help you by stop acting on them impulsively. And it allows you to push them to the side and execute as per your plan and not hurt your account balance. That single thing is going to help you to become a more successful trader. So I hope that has been insightful for you guys. I hope you have learned something from that session. If you have, I will be happy to take any questions in the comment section. I will be doing regular sessions with FundedNext, so there will be many opportunities to answer your questions and help you overcome some of the hurdles you're doing in terms of psychology. But for now, that is the end of my presentation. It's been an honor and a pleasure to present to you all. I look forward to speaking with each and every one of you, and thank you again to the team at FundedNext for allowing me to present this session to you. Thank you guys, and I'll be active in the chat from here. Appreciate it.
persons who have so much to say about it. You see, I like the fact that it started with food. It's like you like food a lot. But you're not as fat as me, oh, but you can eat like that. Please let's celebrate it. And Kuti of the Most High said something that you can have like 100 million in your account, but you want to go somewhere and your boss says, guy, if you try it, don't come back to this office. I think that's one of the things that most of us are running to the point where, like he said, we can be able to help other people and we don't feel concerned. So this is it. Long story short here, trading can actually give you that freedom. You wanted to say something before I interrupted him, yeah? You wanted to say something like we've been out for like weeks now. That I love is, and thank God for FundedNext and a lot of trading companies out there that empowers people, yeah, is that even with your little, yeah, you can do more. I'll forget it. So for those of you who are trading, one of the way you can get financial independence is that, and before I say it, I want to say something else. Please don't quit your job if you don't have faith. Okay? If you don't have faith, and if you know that you have a lot of responsibilities, please don't quit your job. Okay, do your 9 to 5. It was my small one of blessed memory that said something that during the day you work for someone, during the night you work for yourself, and that's one thing about trading. Do you understand what I'm saying? So during the day, just do your 9 to 5 and do your thing, while others are going to do after party, after work party. Yeah, you go to the house, you get on your shirts in your mentorship that you enrolled for, your stuff like that, and cook yourself up. Don't leave your job or something that gives you money until you are able to take care of yourself in a way. But I'm giving that advice to some of you. But me, I did not do that. But me, I took risk. Do you understand? I think some of the speakers have said something. One of them said something about getting a wife. I think you don't want to talk about that one. Wife down. You will give me her money. I remember when I was struggling, she had to, you can relate, right? She had to look at me and say, yeah, you've not been working for some time. She knows that I'm a trader full time. And that time, I was upcoming trader, She said, you've not been working, I don't like it. Okay? So please, this is a certain amount in my account, part of my salary. So just take the phone and transfer this amount of money to yourself. I look at that, I'm like, yeah, God bless you. You understand? And one of our strategies she has taught me is always take profit. Let's 1,000 naira, you're not grateful for it. Do you understand what I'm saying? One of the things you need to learn as a trader is compound interest, right? You know what I'm saying? Don't get to a point where until you make $100 once from a trade, you will not rest. You're kidding yourself. Do you understand what I'm saying? As traders, we have so much advantage. I don't even envy politicians. I don't even envy Yahoo boys. Because I found out that the kind of money we can make, it is you who limits yourself. So if you have like $50 that you want to go and blow, don't blow it. Do you understand? I think there's a 5K account you can get for in certain companies. But with what do you call it now? With FundedNext, one thing I like about these accounts is with your $100 account, yeah, which is like 15K, is that it looks small, but let's think about it. Have you tried to calculate making 10% or 5,000, $15,000 a month? I think some of you've not come to the point where you see these numbers as something worthwhile. Do you understand? So achieving financial freedom is a process. And one thing I talked about with most of my students is that don't look at the next person and compare yourself with them. Everybody learn differently. So for me, all out of these 6 years, yeah, it took me the first 4 years were that type that guy, you have to cry. I think I like this some of you are smiling. You have to cry, pray, yeah, you have to like I think someone was even telling me that he thought he was cursed. Yeah, if you are related to that, let me say like you think you're like, is it village people that's doing me or I'm the one doing myself? To the point where some persons will go and meet their pastor and say, Pastor, pray for me, my business is not working. What is your business? Your business is forex. Okay. a $10,000 account or a $50,000 account, you self reason this thing. Tell yourself that you don't want to lose below $100 a day or $200 a day. Your risk to reward ratio should be something like 1 to 3, 1 to 5. If you lose $100 3 times, that's 3 days. That's minus 300. But out of those 300, if you make profits one day, it should cover for the losses, and you're back to even again. Do you understand what I'm saying? You can't get unlucky every time. Do you understand what I'm saying? So get this straight. Don't underestimate the power of proper risk management. So instead of blowing your $50 account, get a profit account. Do you understand? If you have grace to flip account, you can flip account too. But like I said, one thing you need to understand is don't use hunger and enter the market. Are we getting it? Don't use hunger. That part, now by the grace of God, what I do is I make sure that sometimes in 2 weeks, I spend up to like 100K in stock in my house, in food stuff. Those that know me very well. If I'm eating, I eat. Oh, I don't do all this. Sometimes I go a week without trading, sincerely speaking. A week without trading. What I do is I just see movie. Well, I tell my lady, I say, you have tried for me all these years. Okay, for like 5 years. We've been together. See, today, let me have time with you. Let's see movie. What's your favorite movie? What do you want to see? Don't be everything in trading. Financial freedom. Not be say you must be in the market every single day. It's not like that. Because if you are too much in the market, you get confused in your head because you are seeing this thing just in your head like this. Okay, so in wrapping up, I hope we got something. Tell yourself that I'll be a successful trader. I will make so much money in the market. You are not saying it like you mean it. I will make so much money in the market. I will not blow accounts more than I'm making money. I know will stay for market 24 hours a day, and I will have sense and use it well. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Can you give me a round of applause again? We are coming to the end of the meetup, and one of the important things I want you to do is to meet someone, collect number. The last events that we did, those two people, we met each other. They are now married with 7 kids. There's nothing that, and if they try fall in love. Trust me, fall in love. Fall in love. Just fall in love. I will tell you why now. You know that there's a lot of things that happens when you fall in love. When you have blue accounts. It is when you blue accounts, you know that love is real. Is that because that is where you're thinking of breaking up. I think it was when I already did my people that are trading, I used to submit them. That's why I'm looking for a system that trades for me. Also because I don't want to go and plan that and although so thank God we did a psychology class, you must learn to manage your emotions. Losing is a part of the game. You must accept it, understand it. Losing, you should accept the loss. You win some, you lose some. Accept the loss. So we're going to be doing the raffle now. So we have 5 accounts or 4 accounts, 5 to give away today. $100,000. So I don't know who the lucky winner is going to be. So can you ask them to bring the board for me? I want us to do this fast. And then we have Toyosi. Toyosi is my friend, is a trader also. Just going to come and share. Toyosi, they pass account back to back. All those people that just do back. Just pass. So it's always in my DM. Let's buy, I want 3,000 accounts. Let's buy 5 accounts. Let's just do back. And then we do back. Come and show you. See, this guy don't pass. No. Just it. Yes, it'll be so. So it's going to just come and tell. I want them to get the stuff, and then while he's speaking, we'll pick the winners, and then also the we're going to round up. So there's refreshment. Trust me, there's refreshment. Jollof and fried rice, precisely. Nigerian jollof rice. and then drinks and water. So if you want to take it here, fine. It's the opportunity to mingle, talk to people, enjoy your food, eat it, relax. There's no rush, don't rush out of here. I know that our time is up, so don't worry, they cannot do anything to us. We bribe them with rice. I know they are hearing you. All right, so let's have Mr. Toyosi share something. Please clap for Mr. Toyosi as he comes. He's a good trader. He trades good in love. Yeah, good. How do I say?
Good afternoon, everyone. I want to say very big thank you to my good friend olubori for this opportunity. So I'm just gonna talk for a little bit and talk about prop firms in general and the technical aspect that comes with it. So I feel the first thing most people look at when they want to basically trade prop firms is the fact that they're trading a 10K account, for instance, and automatically you think in your head that you're actually trading a 10K account. And the truth is, the truth is you are not actually trading a 10K account because you have parameter drawdowns, there are daily drawdowns to these things, and you need to consciously watch out for those daily drawdowns. So, for instance, when you see a 10K account in your head, you just think, oh, this is a 10K account, right? So I can basically take one lot and then I can only draw down to a certain amount. And then the next thing you just see, they just text you that you hit your daily draw and all of that. There's a psychological approach to this thing. And the first thing that it does is like it messes your head with numbers. You basically say a 10K and then in your head you just think, okay, yes, I'm actually trading a 10K account. But whereas you're not. For instance, if you're trading, let's say, a 10K account, you have a 5% daily drawdown for some prop accounts, and then you have a cumulative drawdown of 10%. So it means that in the real sense of it, you're actually trading a $500 account. And even some prop firms can actually be so manipulative that if you only hit your loss of $500, at the end of the day, you still get like your account will be terminated, right? So first thing that has to do with all these things is risk management. You need to basically cut your risk. If somebody tells you your daily drawdown on an account is 5%, I personally would advise you to target maybe 2.5% as your daily loss. You cut it short. So that way you even have enough money to leverage on the next day. And like my other friend was saying, you don't have to trade every day, you're not cost. This is like financial freedom kind of thing. So you're not obligated to sit on your system every day. Because even if you think, okay, after like a particular win, you might end up trading the next day. A friend of mine was having a conversation with me. He said day trading, like constantly trading every day, comes with this emotion that might not fix your psychology on the long run. So you having to go on your system every day, trying to look for a certain trade, is like probably you know where there's crude oil, for instance, and you're constantly going there every day to tap it. Like there will be like too much usage. So now basically just find your setup and just chill. All right. And then the problem most people have is, for instance, now maybe you have like a loss today. It doesn't necessarily mean if you come back tomorrow you have it. You might still have a loss. The second thing is just like know your daily drawdown, right? If you're like having a 5% daily drawdown, for instance, try and cut it short to like 2.5%. So if you cut it short to like 2.5%, then set a reasonable target for yourself. Stop thinking if you have a 10K prop account, you can basically flip it to another 10K. It is possible, but be realistic. Like stop all this fiction and all this crazy, crazy mindsets, right? So personally, I advise, let's say if you're trading a 10K account, for instance, you could basically set, let's say, try and see how you can make 10% or 20% of that account in a month. That way, you basically stretch the profit target you're supposed to make. For instance, if you're supposed to make, let's say, $1,000 on an account, right? And it's actually very easy to pass a prop account if you have the right skill and if you can minimize your losses and maximize your profits. Those people, the problem they have is you try to basically hold your losses in face that it actually turn back to a winning trade. And when you see profit, you close them. So I don't want this to go back to the loss. So every at the end of the day, you probably close a trade that can fetch you $200, $300, at least say $50 because of fear. But you are willing to hold that trade when it was running $100, $200, $300, it was like to come back into profit. So at the end of the day, if you minimize, so if you minimize your losses and basically maximize your profit and calm down, sometimes you just need to run risk free. It's not everything you just open your chest and then just set your stop loss and you see it wallowing a lot of profit and you're leaving it. Sometimes you could take partials and set your SL at break even and let the left ride. And if it kicks you out, that's fine. At least you're already back to something. So if you set, let's say, a simple target for yourself, and let's say if you want to make like 10%, 20% of your account, if you constantly work towards that, and then you are fortunate enough to do it, you can compound your profit. Like my other friend was saying about you withdrawing your profit. It's very important that you withdraw your profits because what gives most people is the fact that they're trying to like compound. At the end of the day, you compound, and then you just see everything vanish before your eyes. And you're like, is this thing for me? Or is it a curse? Like I was just like last week I was making let's say 1.5, and then this week I'm even back into like make $1,000. So the whole back and forth is not really necessary. You need to basically know what you want and set like written goals for yourself so you can constantly achieve them. Trust me, trading is not as easy as a lot of people out there. Like you don't see them on Instagram, you post all kinds of stuff or on different social media platforms, and you never see them post their losses. Trust me, a lot of people that they knew when they were battling low key, but they cannot even like post it and all of that. So don't feel like you are alone or you are struggling and all of that. On the long run, it's going to make sense if you consistently work to become better. All right. So if, as I was saying before, if you set a target for yourself, let's say you want 10%, and you are trading a 10K account, and you make let's say $1,000 from that 10K account. Now, most prop firms will definitely pay you 80%, and they'll take 20% for themselves. So if they pay you $800, right? What I tell people is, if you make a withdrawal of $800 from a prop, you can basically keep, let's say, $500 or let's say $600 for yourself, and try and use the remaining $200 to purchase another account and see if you can pass it. That way, you can compound based on capital, not based on profit. So you can withdraw your profit for yourself, and you're also compounding your capital. You know, the places from there, you can do more for yourself. So, you know, it was nice talking to you guys, and I hope this was detailed enough for you. And just chill. As I said before, you need to eat.
So, your microphone. Can we clap for you one more time? Let's clap for you one more time. Please, you can start. It's not just going to start going around now. Yeah. So hold on. And then you can start. We are done with the event. You can start dropping your numbers, locking you now. I really hope that people that are not traders are really doing well. I really wish that people that are traders well. So we have
Who is going to pick for us? I need somebody to come and pick for us. Your number is here, Abby? Your number is here. Good, good. Please come and pick for us. Come and pick one number for us. I pray that the person that she was going to pick, that person is a forex trader. Is it? Oh, good, good. Hmm. Let me see. Who's number 42? Are you a trader? No. Come and pick another one. Come and pick another one, sir. Who is number 23? Hey! So she's going to be taking the first $50,000 account. Please come, let's present it to her. Come. Yeah, please come. Photographers and our guest, our speakers, Emmanuel, please come and snap it out. Come. No, don't worry, stay there. They're coming. Seriously, please join us. Are you guys snapping? Please snap. You can join us. Thank you, GJ. So let's give out the $25,000 also. So you can come and have your seat. Thank you. Um, Who's gonna pick it? Who's gonna pick it? Yeah, tell us, come and pick one. Eh? Yeah, I will call her.
17.
Yeah, a trader. So it's winning the $25,000 account. All right. So thank you so much. Congratulations. Please, so just share your email, with, Rebecca, and your name. Let me pick. This one. I really want to pick for my friends. This is the number. Thank God. This is the number. Thank God. Who is 57? All right, please. $25,000 account. Where's that? Where's the $25? Where's the $25,000? $25,000. Can we get it like that? And where are my friends? Goodness, come and pick one. Please, let's take pictures. All right. Pick my friend. Please. Who is 46? Wow, a $50,000 account for him. Please, where's he? Where's the placard? $50,000. So we have one more account to go. It's an $100,000 account. I don't know how we are going to do that. I really wish. So, okay, let's snap. So there's something I want us to do, but I need us all to agree about it. About this one account. I don't want anybody to pick. I want to give it to someone. And let me tell you why I want to give it to that person. If you agree, if you don't agree, no problem. Right? No. The reason is because this is somebody I know personally. He's a very great trader, and he has passed various accounts. And I know what he's going to do with the money if he eventually passes this one. I know that money will reach, I'm sure, at least 20 people if he becomes a funded trader. What do you guys think? Do you guys think we should? And that's the person that came to this venue first. He got to this venue first before everybody. So what do you guys think? Let's conclude. No. If you're in support that we should give the person. No. Let's agree. Like I said, do you think the reason is because we don't want us to actually waste all these accounts? My worry is that it doesn't get into the wrong hands. Actually, first, it's a lot of accounts. $100,000 is a lot of accounts. I know that he can trade. I'm glad so far. So what do you guys think? Do you agree? No. If you agree, let me see your hands up. No, they did not agree. See, you said did not agree. Let's count the votes. INEC. He can trade. But the problem now is that if you decide to choose it, it might not pick you. It might not pick that person. What should we do? Eh? Sorry, how many have you given away now? 4. So we should give it out, Abby. All right. So all of you will see the person. So I'm not going to hide the person. So all right, please let's we are going to be awarding the 100K account to Mr. Victor. Please let's celebrate Mr. Victor. He never expected it. He never expected it. Tell us, don't cry, but just tell us how you feel. Tell us what you think. Please, you don't have interviews with everyone that won. Tell us what you will do with this thing. I'm going to hold you accountable personally on this account.
I don't know if I should say hallelujah or something. But first of all, glory to God. I didn't see this coming at all. I had another person in my mind already. And I was even shouting his name back there. Oh God. I'm grateful. I'm grateful to FundedNext. I'm grateful to God Digit. By the grace of God, whatever comes out of it, like we learned in the believers conference, is for people by God's grace. And God will take us there by God's grace.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. And I'm also going to get you a $15,000 account. I'm going to get a $15,000 account. Personally, FundedNext. Do you want an account too? I'll give you one account too. No, that's all I can take. So that's two $15,000 accounts for the both of us. But do you guys think we are fair enough? Are you sure? Before he leaves, he can still collect it from you. She knows that prayer has been answered. Do you think we are fair enough? Did we do well? Are you sure? Hope people not drag me on Twitter or drag FundedNext anywhere. That's why I'm saying it. Please come and record what I'm saying and video everybody. Let them even sign a contract. I'm just joking. So the goal of prosperity and wealth is that it should be evenly distributed. It should not just be to some people alone. And we are going to create a WhatsApp group for everyone that has attended today, so that we'll drop more info. I will personally make sure my team drop signal on that group. I will give you all of you free access to my signal group for a full month. It's used to be 10,000 naira. Everyone that you're here, they're going to get free access. And I'm going to give you all my free courses. I'll give you my courses. I have some that are for free. I'm going to give everything to you for free. So I'm getting two people $15,000 account too. So I'll get your email, or I send the money in naira to you or crypto to you, and then you can get it. So I think we are good to go, right? We have come to the end of the event. Okay, so no, we cannot give anyone from online. We cannot give anyone from online. We are sorry. They have to be here in person, because some of you enter transport now. So please. All right. So we have now come to the end of the event. Enjoy your food. Enjoy everything that you have come with, and make sure that you have a splendid time. Please remember to drop your number so that we add you on WhatsApp. Drop your WhatsApp number. We add you on WhatsApp, and then we can communicate. You don't forget the coupon code. If you are buying the account today, so that means we have to buy the account today and use that code, so that we get a 10% discount on. Just use Nigeria 10 at the coupon place, so that you get the discount. And then if you are using my coupon code olubori, I think that's just 5%. But for today, you are getting 10% discount. So I'm going to send my link to the group immediately. The group is open. Send my link to the group. You can register. Make sure that you use my link to register as an affiliate. You can register and then get funded. I hope you had a good time today. Please celebrate yourself. Clap for yourself one more time. And let's enjoy our food. There is still time. Please relate with everyone. Collect number. Like I told you, people are getting married here. Forex traders. I know that you don't have feelings again and emotion, but still talk to a woman and collect number. See if I find girls here. Collect number. Don't worry. But don't go near my own baby. I'm just joking. She's not here. All right. Have a great time.